Okay, it's my magician's table. So I'm going to talk a bit about pioneer ministry, a bit of history about SCAT, which is now Engage, so I'll probably interchange between the two because I haven't learned the new name yet. SCAT started off 20 years ago with primary schools work. A group of churches got together out of the J. John mission and they started doing assemblies in primary schools. It then developed and they decided, let's go into secondary schools as well. So they did, and we did assemblies, CUs, RE lessons, and it was quite a small team of youth workers that were involved in this ministry in the secondary schools work. And it was very SCAT motivated. So I came onto the scene in my gap year and was very much kind of giving the whole CU session and the suites to the youth workers, saying, just go in and do it. It's all written down here. So like empowering them to do it. It then developed and we continued doing CUs, detached, and then mission weeks as well. And the team of youth workers got bigger. And I went on maternity leave and they didn't get any cover for me and the work improved. Because the youth workers were like, if we don't take this responsibility, it's not going to happen anymore. And they took ownership. And because of that ownership, they had passion for it and it grew and expanded. So when I went back after having my son, we carried on doing CUs, we did detached, and then we looked, as I went through the ordination process, of how my role could develop into something called Pioneer Schools Ministry. And the work now is joint owned by myself as the Pioneer Schools Minister and the youth workers. We very much see it as our project. We go in under the Engage umbrella, but it's our project, it's our baby, it belongs to us, and we want to see it grow and mature. So, this is my box, which, if I'd had time, I would have made it look pretty. But imagine this is the box, which is schools ministry. Now, the things I'm involved with now, I'm going to reel off this list. If you want the list afterwards, then please ask me. We do CUs, assemblies, mentoring, detached. I serve in the canteen. We have cakes at break for the staff. Love that one. I speak at local churches. I've made costumes for school productions. I'm padre to the Air Training Corps. I have a presence in the staff room. I wander around the school site. I have a DBS form, so that's okay to do. I'm involved in school trips, including going to Spain in the summer. I link the schools with local charities and local churches. I empty dishwashers, I load dishwashers, and I spend time listening to staff, and I'm generally there, hopefully like a breath of fresh air rather than a bad smell wandering around the school. And the reason for doing all of these things is because I want to take schools work out of the box and put it in front of people and say, it's more than just inside this box. And the reason I do all of these things is because I just want to share with you, you probably know this already, but what the gospel means for me. The gospel means for me a bit of flour. The gospel means for me forgiveness. We can be reconciled with God and we're forgiven and we're redeemed back into a relationship with him. The gospel also means fulfillment. Got some fat here. We can become totally fulfilled in who we are as a person when we are reconciled with God again. And the gospel also means freedom. There's no actual eggs because I don't trust myself. The gospel means freedom. We are free from our sin. We are free to live in a full relationship with God. We are free to be fully ourselves. And we're free of fear, which so much sin puts us under. We're free to reach our full potential and live to the max. And I want to be the hands and feet of the gospel, of these three things, in the schools. I want to enable people to encounter the gospel, to engage with it, and to then respond to it. But not necessarily in the format of what schools ministry would put in the box here, because although these are the three fundamental areas for me of what the gospel is, the gospel means more than that. Maybe someone will respond more to the gospel if there's a bit of love in there, if there's a bit of sugar maybe, because they're not loved at home. Maybe people will encounter the gospel more because they're looking for adventure in life. I can sense the anticipation rising. Or maybe they're looking for a bit of grace because they're just feeling totally lost and abandoned. Or maybe they're looking for compassion or a bit of sacrifice. Maybe they're looking for different things which they can encounter and grasp onto in the gospel. So, when you put all these things together, you can become the hands and feet of the gospel. And I want to enable you guys on this table to encounter the gospel and to engage with it. Now, there's some cheesy feet here. There's some lemony hands and there's some chocolate chip feet. So maybe you're a savoury person and you want to encounter the grace of the Lord through that way. Or maybe you just aren't feeling particularly loved today and you want a bit of chocolate. So help yourself. Right, these guys are now participating in engaging and encountering. Now, as you encounter and engage with the gospel, you might want to explore it. You might want to sniff it. Yeah, you might want to watch what other people are doing, because that's what I want to do. And hopefully you can respond to it as well by eating it. You know, we've got to eat the word, you know. So I want to be the gospel in the schools, to take things out of the box of schools work, to the extent where, to be honest, I just want to get rid of the box and say, look, it's all out here. It's all on display. One of the things which inhibits the schools ministry that I do is people think schools work is in a box. And they think, oh, you just do assemblies, RE lessons and CUs, and you want to come in and convert us and hit us round the head with the Bible, and you're dangerous because we've got multi-faiths represented in our schools. That's something that I encounter. But the thing which has broken down that boundary has been opening the box up and going, no, look, we're way bigger than what you think we are. We just want to enable you to encounter, to engage with, to explore the gospel in a way that meets your needs, which could be the way that I empty and unload the dishwasher. I kind of see it as a modern version of Jesus washing the disciples' feet. Engage, in changing our name to engage, has changed our perception of what schools work is. It's about building, don't worry, I've got more down here if we run out. More hands and feet. There's always enough gospel to go around. It's about engaging with people, building those relationships. And over the past 20 years, I've seen the benefit of simply being with people, being with members of staff and being with students, letting them get to know me, the real me. So the real me when I've had a rough night and I'm tired and I just want to go home and I can't be bothered, sharing that with them. And the real me when I come into school buzzing because I've had an amazing Bible reading in the morning. Rarely happens, but sometimes it does. Because I want people to engage with me and encounter with me so that they can see me reflect the gospel that I see in Jesus. So over the 12 years that I've been involved in SCAT, it's changed to be more relational. And now I've come to the challenge of how do we push this relationship further? They know me now. How can I now safely and confidently, with this box open, go deeper into what it means to respond to the gospel that they've encountered and engaged with when they've met with me and met with the youth workers involved in the schools ministry? Give out food and Dave lose track of all time. Finish. Thanks very much.